Welcome to First Date, a panel talk show on the Reader Seeks Romance channel that celebrates debut romance authors with recent and upcoming releases. I am your matchmaking host, Liz Donatelli. It is a thrill for me to introduce 3 new romance authors who will set your hearts aflutter with their summer 2024 debut romances. Gabriella Gamez is the author of The Next Best Fling, pub date July 9th. Ingrid Pierce is the author of Not You Again, pub date July 9th. Melanie Sweeney is the author of Take Me Home, pub date July 9th. Welcome, authors, and congratulations on your debut romance releases.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's begin, as all first dates do, with an icebreaker. Tell me something about yourselves that others would be surprised to learn. Okay, Melanie, what would people be surprised to learn about you?
Anybody who follows me on Instagram will not be surprised to learn this because I share about it there. But about 2 years ago, I started learning how to figure skate as a complete beginner as an adult. And so that is sort of my main hobby outside of writing.
Are you at the point where you could like spin in a circle while holding one foot behind you?
No.
No.
What's really funny to me about figure skating is it's not the kind of sport that you see like amateurs doing or young people or beginners doing. You pretty much only see it in the Olympics, right? Unless you actively try to watch figure skating.
Right.
So the level that people think of as like a normal or pretty good figure skater is like miles beyond what I'm doing. But I can spin on one leg. So, it took me a while to get there.
Do you have like a little outfit?
So my rink puts on ice shows twice a year. And so that's the way that I get to do the fun, beautiful performance part without all of the stress of competing. And so I get to be a part of our Nutcracker show in the winter and then our spring show. And we do get like pretty dresses and stuff for that. So it's really fun.
Gabriella?
Sure. I guess my hobby outside of writing, maybe people would be surprised, I play a lot of video games. It's kind of become a problem because it's an expensive hobby to have and it's such a time suck. But I think it's a good way, just, like when I need to get my mind off writing stuff, or like reading stuff, book world, and it's just like something that I can do and kind of like lose myself in for a while when I just need to not think about all of that for a while. So it's my addiction.
Are there games in particular that you use to kind of de-stress?
One of my recent favorites was Stardew Valley. It just got an update on computer and I'm just waiting for it to hit console so I can start playing again. So I'm like, I have such FOMO of like seeing everyone online playing. And I'm just like, I want the new updates.
Ingrid, what would people be surprised to learn about you?
I feel like a lot of people, if you follow me on social media or read my newsletters, you might know that I work in healthcare. But my actual job involves I lead plastic surgery at a trauma center, where we, do a lot of reconstructive procedures for, breast cancer patients, for people who are in accidents, stuff like that. And I really enjoy it.
I was wondering if any of the things that you've just shared have informed your writing in any way. Like, is there any ice skating,
Okay, so I have like one sentence in Take Me Home that references them going skating and the main character, Hazel, realizing at 23 years old that she was not going to suddenly become an ice princess. So that was a little bit coming from my own experience. And like Gabriella, I'm hoping my book 3 will actually be set in the world of ice dancing. That would be my ultimate dream.
Ingrid?
My book is it's about reality TV. It really has nothing to do with it. That being said, I do have a side character who's going through breast cancer treatment, and I have a couple scenes that take place in a hospital that I tried to inject with as much realism as I could.
Gabriella?
So not this book, not even my second book either. I think it's like hasn't for some reason come out, but for book 3, I have a character who's kind of a gamer, and then also online, who like plays online. So like that kind of like informed it a little bit there. Took like 3 books to get there, but it finally hit.
Let me set the scene. You have just scored a meeting with book club tastemakers Oprah Winfrey, Jenna Bush Hager, and Reese Witherspoon. They are giving you 2 minutes to pitch your debut romance to them. Go!
Hello, Roundtable. My name is Gabriella Gamez. I wrote this lovely book right here, The Next Best Fling, where we follow Marcella, who is kind of down on her luck in love with her best friend of 10 years, the past 10 years. But when he tells her that he's about to get engaged to his longtime girlfriend, she knows that it's time to move on, that it was probably time a long time ago, but this is basically like her kick to, start getting over this now. But before she even can, at the engagement party, her best friend's brother shows up, decides it would be a really great idea to get super drunk and confess his feelings for his brother's fiance and maybe convince her to leave him or something. But luckily, he's not able to get that far because Marcella catches him and is able to stop him and convince him it's a really bad idea, that he's going to mess up his relationship with his brother, which is the last thing he wants. And so she's able to convince him to sleep it off on her couch, you'll think better of this in the morning, essentially. And so that happens. And then they also arrive at family brunch together the next morning, and everyone sees them walk in together. Next. They know that they left the party together last night, and everyone believes that they hooked up, which is a lie that they are going to roll with because they don't want anyone to find out the truth of what Theo was really doing or trying to do that night. So they start fake dating, leads to a lot of chaos and just a lot of mixed feelings, and I don't know, will their plan work a little too well? Maybe.
Next.
I'm Ingrid Pierce, and I am the author of this book, Not You Again. It is a rom-com about a wedding dress designer who she needs a little bit of money because she's at a pivotal point in her career and about to show at Atlanta Fashion Week. And her friend suggests she signs up for a reality TV show that's filming in town, where perfect strangers meet at the altar and marry, and then they have to live together for 8 weeks and decide if it's worth, choosing the love of your life. So she goes on the show and walks down the aisle, and lo and behold, her perfect match, according to this show's matchmakers, is the man who broke her heart when she was in college 10 years ago. And now they're forced together for the next 2 months to figure out kind of what happened back in college, and can they get over it, and are they going to fake it for the cameras? They have to do dance lessons and all sorts of zip lining and axe throwing and reality show things. And it's see if it's worth choosing each other over this great career opportunity that Andy, my main character, has.
Which dating reality TV shows do you watch?
All of them. No, I watch everything except The Bachelor. I watch Married at First Sight, which heavily inspired this book. I also really enjoy Love is Blind. I like all sorts of those, like Love Island, all of those shows that maybe some would consider a little bit trashy, but you know what? I love it.
Next.
My name is Melanie Sweeney, and I wrote this book called Take Me Home. And Take Me Home is about two frenemies who knew each other in high school, Hazel and Ash. And Hazel used to date his best friend. They were not friends when they were in school together. And then they just happened to go to the same college. And Hazel was determined to make a clean break because she doesn't do afters. As soon as something falls apart, she walks away from it. So she's left her hometown and pretty much sworn everyone from her hometown off, but she couldn't escape Ash. And so they come to an agreement to sort of avoid each other through all of college. But now she has just started her PhD program at the same university. And under a lot of pressure as a new psychology TA, she's desperate for a place off campus away from all of her students to study. And she finds a cafe where Ash happens to work. And they fight over this fabulous green chair that they both need desperately. And so they come back into each other's lives, and Hazel gets invited back for her semi-estranged father's holiday wedding.
Mhm.
She's got to go back home for that. And in the meantime, Ash is also desperate to get home over the holidays to take care of some family crises that he has going on with his family.
Mhm.
And he's got a really crappy car that breaks down. And so unfortunately, they have to road trip across Texas together to their small hometown. And about a quarter of the book is a road trip, and the rest is a small town holiday romance. And once there, they realize that what they thought they knew about each other is not entirely true. And they start to fall in love.
I love it! I love it! I love it! Let's read the first lines of your novels. Melanie, could you read the first line of Take Me Home?
When Hazel zipped into the parking lot of the Living Room Cafe, the old clunker with its faded indie rock bumper stickers and duct-taped license plate frame wasn't there, which meant, more importantly, the owner of the car wasn't there. A Christmas miracle.
Oh, intriguing. Ingrid, not you again. Could you please read the first line?
All right, this one's a doozy. I spend way too much time underneath bride skirts.
Well, so far, both of your first lines really grab you. Gabriella, the next best Fling. Could you please read the first line?
A little black box sits in his outstretched hand.
Oh. Oh, okay. I wonder if you're going to zig where I think you're going to zag, or if it's what I think it is. Interesting. Okay. Got to read to find out. Which tropes do you use to tell the love story between your main characters? Also, this is a time for you to claim any tropes that you have created and you think, hey, I want to make it official on first date on Reader Seeks Romance channel. Melanie, what are the tropes that you use in Take Me Home, and have you created any new ones?
Okay. I've been calling my book The Everything Bagel of Tropes because there's a lot. So I'll
Interesting.
list as many as I can remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
We have Grumpy Sunshine. She's grumpy, he's sunshine. We have forced proximity. We have a road trip romance. We have small town. We have holiday. We have only one bed. We have some micro tropes. We've got stuck in a dress in a dressing room. And we've got he teaches her how to shoot darts, but in a sort of flipped way.
Okay.
And yeah, those are the main ones off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, I would say that you've created the trope, the everything bagel trope, where it's basically it's a lot of tropes. So that in itself is a trope. So congratulations. Gabriella, which tropes do you use in the next best Fling, and have you created any new ones?
Yeah, so we've got fake dating, we've got best friend slash ex's older brother. As far as like created new tropes, there was one that I thought about kind of like using like on like my Instagram or whatever, but then I was kind of like, it sounds kind of bad if you don't have the context, so I didn't.
Okay.
And that's reverse only one bed, where they basically wake up not having known why they are in the same bed. So that's kind of bad if you don't have the context. So I didn't do that.
Okay, maybe if you rename it not reverse one, because reverse one bed sounds like, to me, I thought that they
Too
woke up
many beds.
underneath the bed. Did they wake up
Oh.
underneath the bed? Oh, okay. That's what I would think of as reverse means it's only one bed, but we're both underneath the bed, which could be a thing.
Okay.
So you're saying they just woke up in a bed and were they like kidnapped? Like,
No, so the context is that they had kind of spent the night at the bar drinking too many drinks, and he was meant to be on the couch, but then somehow in the morning they both woke up fully dressed, nothing shady,
Okay.
woke up in the same bed.
I'm gonna call that accidental only one bed.
Okay, I like that.
And that is yours now. Whoever uses that has to credit you and me.
There we go.
But congratulations, and you're welcome. Ingrid, which tropes do you use in Not You Again?
I've got a few. Reality TV would be like the first trope. Second chance.
Yep.
Love these two. Little bit of enemies to lovers. marriage of convenience, a dash of fake dating. Microtropes, we're looking at only one bed, got a little bit of that because they have to live in the same apartment together. I'd say I have two tropes that I feel like I kind of created. One would be like pocket squares as a love language, right? Like it's very cute. And then fashion is a grand gesture.
It's interesting you mentioned pocket squares because in a reality TV show that you don't watch, this season on Bachelorette with Jen Tran, one of the suitors, upon first meeting her, offered her pocket squares and told her to choose one because he thought that couples should match. So he's like, oh, you pick one, I'll take the matching one. So interesting that you mentioned pocket squares.
Yeah, they definitely match. I had a lot of fun writing that scene. So
excellent. Let's talk about heat levels. I have an alliterative scale of sweet, sexy, steamy, and safe word. So safe word being erotic. Should we take safe word off? I'm guessing nobody's erotic. Is anybody erotic here? Ingrid, not you again. Sexy, sweet, or steamy?
I think it's somewhere between sexy and steamy. I can give you chapter numbers if you really want. I had to tell my dad not to read them. And
okay.
They are, there's only two real explicit scenes, but they are explicit. Yeah.
Melanie, take me home. How deeply are they taking each other home? Is it sweetly, sexily, steamily?
I think Take Me Home probably falls in the sexy range. Not steamy, it's not quite as explicit, but it's definitely open door.
Gabriella, the next best fling, are we talking sweet, sexy, or steamy?
We're probably in the steamy range. There are 3 explicit scenes, and then there's like a few like almost get there, and then they get interrupted before they can,
okay.
Yeah, I think probably more on the steamy scale.
What's your romance writing superpower? This is your chance to show yourself some self-love and brag a little bit. Gabriella, what's your romance writing superpower?
I think in pretty much like all of my books that I've written, I love a grand gesture. I love a speech, a big dramatic speech. That's my favorite thing to probably write in like all of the books that I've written so far. Just, like all of the words to make my heart melt and then the rest of me melt onto the floor.
Ingrid, what is your romance writing superpower?
I feel like my superpower is this ability to create these really multi-dimensional flawed characters.
Okay.
And really explore the layers of emotion underneath what they're doing and uncovering kind of those emotional and like the internal lies that they're telling themselves that they're going to need to get over if they want to be with each other. And it allows readers to see my characters, but it also allows my characters to see each other deeply and love them deeply. And I really enjoy taking readers on that ride.
Great answer. Melanie, what's your romance writing superpower?
I lean into my characters being weird.
Okay.
I just love a very specifically weird character. And so I'm always trying to make them as nuanced and strange and just kind of weird as possible. So like one example is that Hazel doesn't want to go home, and the example she gives for the feeling she gets about having to go home is that she once did a fundraiser in high school and accidentally knocked on one of her high school teacher's doors, not knowing that he lived there. And he answered the door like bare-chested in these tiny yellow shorts, and he had like a thigh tattoo and weird nipples. And so this is like, she's afraid of that experience every time that she now has to go home. She thinks something like that might happen.
Okay, that is a interesting visual that you've planted into my mind. Dedication time. Okay. Who did you dedicate your debut romance novel to and why? And if you could please share it with us. Ingrid.
Mine is dedicated to the ones who stayed. And that's because I wrote it at a really kind of pivotal, difficult time in my life. I started writing this. I was on maternity leave with my first child. Mm-hmm. And I was dealing with a lot of postpartum depression and anxiety. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I felt like I was losing a lot of friends and a lot of people in my life. Mm-hmm. And I really just wanted to dedicate this book to the ones who were still there and kept loving me even when it was hard to do.
Well, thank you for sharing. Gabriella.
I'll go ahead and share it first and then kind of explain my process behind the dedication.
Ooh,
I feel like it is kind of a special one. For all of the readers, educators, and librarians fighting the good fight to get diverse books into the hands of those who need them the most, I hope we win. I feel like this was a given, writing a librarian as a main character and just kind of the things we've been seeing in the news about book bans. When I had written this book already, I already had my book deal and everything when all of the book bans kind of started cropping up. So it wasn't like I could, I didn't write the book meaning to address the book bans that were happening.
Right.
But I think it did make me edit certain sections to kind of show like my opinions about what has been going on. And then I think just having that dedication just to kind of show that like we're all still here, we're all still fighting for what we believe is right. And I think that was very important. So this book kind of felt incomplete without that dedication.
Melanie.
Mine is simple. It just says for Mom and Josh is my husband. And when I said I wanted to write this book, he was sort of like, how are we going to make this happen? And kind of went all out to help us make sure that the family was taken care of and that I could do it. So that's why he gets equal billing with my mom.
You've now all earned the fun segment. This title needs a story. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll go over briefly. I have selected the titles of 5 different Golden Girl episodes.
Thank you for being a friend.
And you are to tell me what the romance book is about. And, feel free to throw in your tropes and steam level and all that fun stuff to tell us what that story is. Okay. So, let's see. Gabriella, 1 to 5. What number? Before I begin, have you ever watched The Golden Girls?
I've seen a few briefly with my mom, but not like seriously watched every episode.
Oh, okay. I'm probably your
This will
mom's
be a little
age.
interesting.
Okay. I don't, this is probably going to date me, but I watched all these episodes when they first came out on television. I was watching them live while at my grandparents' house or wherever I was on. I think it aired on a Saturday night, to be honest. I think it was. So what number would you like, Gabriella?
I will take 5.
Number 5, 3 on a couch. 3 on a couch. So what is the romance novel 3 on a couch about? Go crazy with it.
We've got 3 on a couch. I already feel like we are in a poly romance with these 3 people who are on a couch. I'm thinking maybe contemporary. They're just, chilling on the couch. Maybe go friends to lovers. Like they've always, been friends. They've always chilled and hung out on this couch. And then one day they feel like there's something more going on between them, but it's kind of complicated because there are 3 of them. So it's like maybe this person, but I don't know how this person feels, or like kind of a thing, kind of the complex feelings going on. Like are we all on the same page? Do we all feel the same way about each other? What's going on here? And I feel like it gets steamy. I feel like it gets pretty steamy on that couch. So
I would think that only one couch would probably be the
trope. Only
Only
one couch.
Yeah, and maybe like couch orgy, something like that. I mean, it has to be a big couch.
It better be a pullout because that's a lot of people for one couch.
Very good. Well, 3 on a couch. If you use any of these ideas, just throw me a nod in the acknowledgements. Okay. Ingrid. We
Uh-oh.
have 1, 2, 3, and 4 left.
2.
2. Oh, this is a fun one. Guess who's coming to the wedding?
Oh, see, this fits right in with my brand already.
It sounds like a reality show title. Guess who's coming to the wedding?
Yeah. So I'm thinking this is kind of a fake dating, need a fake date to a wedding scenario.
Okay.
And then it's, somebody, let's say, very similar to Gabby's book over here, where maybe they are going to the wedding of someone that they have loved unrequited forever, and they're getting married to somebody else. And they asked them to be their bridesmaid or best, maid of honor. Right. And so they're going to do some fake dating to be like, everything is fine. But also they just happen to bring the groom's, I don't know, high school rival.
Okay.
And things get feisty at the wedding is my thought.
Oh, okay. I dig it.
I'm thinking tropes, maybe like love triangle. I know that's kind of like a hated trope, but like, I think it could work for this one.
With a skilled writer, I think love triangle can be pulled off to people's satisfaction. I think you should go forth and write it.
Maybe plot twist, they all end up on a couch later. I don't know.
Maybe this is the prequel to 3 on a Couch.
There we go. That's how it all starts.
I like it. So we have 1, 3, and 4 left, Melanie.
I'm gonna choose 3.
1, 2, 3. Oh, 3. Oh, I was hoping you picked 4. Okay. 3 is called Second Motherhood. Second Motherhood.
Second motherhood.
Now, you could either stick with that or let me pick. 3 is called Second Motherhood. Second Motherhood.
Second motherhood.
Now, you could either stick with that or let me pick one of the other remaining ones for you. Do you want to check what's behind door number 4 or door number 1? Or do you want to keep Second Motherhood?
That's so tempting to choose a different one. Yeah, let's see what's behind door number 4. Was 4 the one that you were hoping I would pick?
Oh, this is a good one. Long Day's Journey into Marinara.
Okay, well, this sounds like a road trip book.
Ah.
It kind of sounds like perhaps like possibly a reality show situation, like a what's the show where they have to travel? Oh, Amazing Race, where they have
Amazing
to
Race.
Okay, yeah.
Gotcha.
And they've got to travel through Europe and get to Italy and uncover a very particular small restaurant that has amazing marinara. It's probably going to be enemies to lovers because we love enemies to lovers who are forced to work together and be in forced proximity. And but also Second Chance, because I do think Second Chance and enemies to lovers is a really great combination. So they are childhood enemies who have been forced to reconnect on this reality show to go find the best marinara in Italy.
Okay. I dig it. And, I think you could take it one step further and there could be something akin to Lucy stomping the grapes, but something with marinara where the two end up in a vat of marinara and kind of like roll around or maybe sex in marinara sauce. I don't know. It depends what direction you want to take it.
That was the first thing that I thought of, so I'm glad that I didn't have that one.
Well, I'm glad you said that because
wrestling.
as soon as I said it, I said, boy, they're going to think I'm a real freak in the sheets.
Things getting saucy.
It's getting saucy. You know what? Great tagline for that book is saucy time, saucy time, saucy time USA. You've all been very good sports for playing This Title Needs a Story. So thank you for that. Thank you, Gabriella Gamez, Ingrid Pierce, and Melanie Sweeney for joining me here on First Date. I wish all of you continued success and happy writing. Thank you all for spending your evening with me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having us.